So the first thing I want to go over is how to find the missing side of a quadrilateral. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the markings to match the sides that are given. So when they give you your quadrilateral, they are going to have to give you the markings on the shape. For example, here I have a rectangle, and rectangles we know have opposite sides that are congruent. So that means the top and the bottom are going to have to be the same, and the left side and the right side are going to be the same. In the middle here I have a square. It has the same amount of tick marks on each side, so that means all sides are equal. So whatever number they give us is going to be the same for all sides. And then on the third shape I have a parallelogram. So it's like a tilted rectangle, so the top and the bottom are going to be the same length, and the left and the right are going to be the same length. So I'm going to use whatever numbers they give me to match up to the other side. Now, when I move on to find the missing angle of a quadrilateral, there are a couple things that could happen. The first thing is we're going to use any markings that they give us to match the angles that are given. So we might not actually even have to do any calculations. If we are not given angle markings, then we are going to subtract any angle measurements that are given from 360. For example, with the trapezoid that I have right here, I would take 360 and subtract off the 3 angle measurements that they give me here. And then finally, sometimes they're only going to give us 1 angle measurement, like we see here, and we're going to have to subtract off the rest and then divide by 2. So, going on to some examples. Example number 1 says, what is the length of AB? Well, AB is this side right here. If I look, it has 1 tick mark, congruent mark there. So the other side that would just have 1 tick mark would be DC, and DC is 12 millimeters. So 12 millimeters is going to be our answer. And yes, it is exactly that easy. So let's move on to example number 2. Number 2 says, what is the length of DC? So DC is here. As I'm looking here, I have 2 tick marks. So I need to look and see which other side has 2 tick marks. And that's going to be my side AB. So AB matches DC. So that means DC has to be 7. The next example says, what is the side length of BC? So I need to figure out BC, which is right there. BC has 1 tick mark. So that means all sides are going to match. So here I have 1 tick mark and 6 inches. So that means the side length of BC is going to be 6 inches. All right. Next example says, what is the length of AD? AD is here. So I have 1 tick mark here. I need to match it across the way with 1 tick mark, and that is 9 meters. So AD, line segment AD, is 9 meters long. The next example says, what is the length of JK? JK is here. It has 1 tick mark. It's going to match to ML with 1 tick mark, so it is going to be 6. So line segment JK is going to be 6. Then it says, what is the length of KL? KL is here. It has 2 tick marks. So I need to look for 2 tick marks, and I see it with the 15. So KL, line segment KL, is 15. Moving on to find the measure of angle B. So we know that all quadrilaterals angle measurements add up to 360 degrees. Here I have 1, 2, 3 angles that have little squares in them, so we know that that means they're 90 degrees. So I'm going to subtract off 3 90-degree angles. When I do that, I'm left with 90. So angle B is 90 degrees, which is C. Next up, it says find the measure of angle B. So again, I'm going to take 360 degrees because all quadrilaterals are 360 degrees. And then I'm going to subtract off the angles they give me. So I'm going to subtract off 110. Then I'm going to subtract off 87. Then I'm going to subtract off 70. So when I do 360 minus 87 minus 70, I get 93 degrees. So angle B is 93 degrees. Here, again, we're going to, they all have to add up to 360 degrees, so I'm going to subtract off what they give me. So I'm going to say 360 degrees minus 124 minus 56 minus 56. Once I subtract all of that off, I'm left with 124 degrees. All right, this one says if angle M is 125 degrees, what is the measure of angle J? So angle M is right here, and I'm going to go ahead and label it 125. So if angle M is 125 with 2 congruency marks, I'm going to look for another angle that also has 2 congruency marks, and that would be angle K. So I'm going to put 125 there. Now I'm missing 2, but they have the same amount of congruency marks. They both have 1. So that means they're the same amount, so I can subtract off what they give me and then divide by 2. So I'm going to take 360 degrees minus 125 minus 125, and when I do that, I'm going to be left with 110 degrees. Then I'm going to take that 110 degrees and divide it by 2 because I have to split it between angle J and angle L. And when I do that, I'm going to get 55 degrees. So angle J is 55 degrees. All right, here's another one. It says if angle K is 80 degrees, what is the measure of angle L? So I'm going to find angle K, and I'm going to put 80 degrees. Angle K has 2 congruency marks, so I need to find another one that does, and that would be angle M, so that is 80 degrees as well. So I'm going to do 360 minus 80 minus 80. And what I'm left with is 240. So now I still have 2 angles, J and L, that I need to split the 240 between. Oh, I'm sorry, this is going to be 200, not 240. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to divide the 200 by 2, and so I'm left with 100 degrees. So angle L is going to be 100 degrees. This one, again, you're just going to do 360 minus 106 minus 74 minus 73. When you do that, you are left with 107 degrees. So angle B is 107. This concludes the notes section. You can go